How's it going, all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land? This is Black Cat Hobbies. Just chilling out. Finally got around to getting the Shadowbringers expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. I haven't played this game in probably at least a year. So I figure I'm going to start up a brand new character and bring you guys kind of a returning player slash new player sort of thing, going from the very beginning all the way up to the latest content. Hope you all be willing to join me on this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know y'all might be thinking, hey, this is video gaming, why are you calling yourself hobbies? Well, all them companies out there, especially the ones like, say, Bungie and others that are bringing us games as a service, have really started to refer to the gaming as a hobby, so it seems appropriate. Let's take a moment, watch this beautiful cutscene. Square Enix always puts out excellent cutscenes and opening credits, which is stunning music. And once we get through that, we'll get right to the character creation. So I'm going to stop talking for a moment so we can enjoy this wonderful music and the beautiful visuals. And I will see you when this is done. Oh, that has me so pumped to get back into this. It's gonna be fun. Now, just a few things. This first video is probably gonna be a bit on the lengthy side. It has been a little while since I've played. I gotta remember what I'm doing. That being said, also being the first video of the series, I want to give you guys a nice, meaty video to get an idea of what's going on. Let me change data centers. While I am playing this as kind of intending this as a returning player's journey, I want it to also double as a bit of a new player's idea as well on what they can be expecting getting into this. I do have some family that plays on one of these servers, so that I can grab some help if I want, but I'm going to try to stick it mostly to just keeping it how it would be for a newer player. That being said, if y'all hear anything weird, I'm not sure what all this microphone's going to pick up yet. It's being new to this whole thing, so you might hear the cat that's in the other room, or I don't normally talk a lot, so it may just be me grabbing a drink. Gotta stay hydrated, don't want to start getting like cotton-mouthed in the middle of recording. That wouldn't be very fun. So without further ado, let's start making a new character. Some peaceful music in the background. It's the kind of stuff I could listen to all day. Alright, well, as you all have probably seen, the channel name is Black Cat Hobbies. So in honor of that, I think we're going to go with a Hrothgar, being a bit of a lion person. I could go with a Makote, but I have that as a main character. I wanted to go with something a little more manly for this one, especially with the class I'm intending to play right off the bat. So Hrothgar seems, fitting. So for those of you who have played past Final Fantasy games, they are modeled off of Kimahri a bit from Final Fantasy X. It's actually possible to make a character that looks very similar to him, minus the horn. If anyone wants to, it does say that they're hailing from distant shores of Ilsabard. The Hrothgar are burly people of lion-like appearance, or the males are at least. There are not options for females in this game at the moment because Square chose to give us the Viera from 12. Let's see. Females number staggeringly few among their population and thus are rarely so much as glimpsed by the other races. Hrothgar have an imposing countenance, mitigated not at all by their sharp claws and still sharper fangs. Incited panic amongst the Eorzeans upon their arrival. That's always a lot of fun. I mean, I have some friends, we tend to chill with some D&D, and a few of them have a tendency to forget that not everyone speaks the languages that they do, and they panic the townsfolk when they show up. It's kind of funny, until they try to get us thrown in jail. It's the initial interaction with the common folk often escalated into conflict. When you look like that, it happens. It was not until the Hrothgar gained mastery of the common tongue the fears were allayed, and in time they would be as neighbors, welcome in all corners of the realm. That's nice. Alright, so there's a basic. Time to start. Alright, so Helions have traditionally been content to reside in southern Ilsabard with their respective tribes, devout servants to their queens, one and all, and thus have only but recently begun to make their presence felt throughout the remainder of the 3 continents. Though these Hrothgar initially had no word to describe themselves, scholars came to call them Helions after observing how their lives all but revolved about their queen's needs as planets circle the sun. So these starting attributes here, they really don't do much in the grand scheme of things for the game. Most of the you're going to be picking based on cosmetics. If ever anyone's interested in trying this game out, I have heard that there is a free trial that will allow you to play up to level 35 of any of the starter classes, which will be shown here momentarily. We also have the Lost. Ooh, that is a little more Kimahri-esque. So it says, unlike their Helion brethren, the Lost are unbound by the whims of any reigning monarch, have long since found themselves bereft of the warm radiance of their queen. Most find that a nomadic lifestyle best suits their situation and are known to ply a variety of trades that align with their propensity to travel, seasonal laborer, mercenary, and peddler among them. Well, interesting. I think I am going to go a little more with the traditional, the Hellion. It won't come up immediately, but down the road when more classes open up, I will probably be spending a lot of time crafting and gathering, just because I tend to have a playstyle that keeps me relatively self-sufficient. If everyone wants to see all the crafting and gathering going on, let me know. I will leave that in the videos. If you're not interested in it, feel free to comment about that. I may leave it in the videos as well, but if I leave it in and no one's really interested, I will time-lapse it just to get it out to... It's basically to still show that it's useful if you're trying to be self-sufficient, but not making it that it goes dragging on and on if I spend like a few hours gathering. Who really wants to watch that? And then I just give a nice speedy time lapse, get it done in a couple of minutes. Let's see, let's go with a tall lion dude. Skin color, this is Black Cat Gaming. So let's go nice and dark. Fur pattern. Ooh, I do kind of like those stripes we have at the beginning, though. How's that look on the back? I think I'll go with your initial. It's pretty nice looking. So we get the fur color on this pattern. At least I believe, yeah, that's on that pattern. I want a little brighter than that if possible. Yeah, that should work. Some of you that have been long-standing fans and happen to play Sun and Moon might recognize kind of what's going here. When I was messing around with Monster Hunter World, I was making a black cat for my Palico, and it just kind of turned into a Litten by the way things were looking. What color to go with that? That's a little too bright. That's getting too bluish. That'd be funky. I think I can go with that. Hope y'all don't mind. It gives us a tail shape option. It's different. That's what we got now. I think I'll go with that. Or the traditional. Tail length. Why not? Face. Okay, that's his face, and this is looking more hairstyle-esque. We should probably avoid the mohawk, even if it is kind of funny. I do sort of like the flowing mane thing going on. Actually, I'm kind of digging that one. Nice thing with this game is once you reach a certain level, if you decide you don't like how you look, you tend to receive a Vial of Fantasia, I believe is what it's called, which allows you to go and change your appearance. Alright, jaw shape. Actually, I should probably zoom back in for jaw. Actually, I'm kind of digging 3 with the broad look to it. Eye shape. That's actually pretty nice the way it is. Iris size. That looks good. Eye color. I'm actually kind of digging that. Eyebrows. Wouldn't normally think about that on a lion, but hey, why not? I think I'll go with a little more broad. Nose. And we'll go with something big. Why not? Fang length. I'm kind of going for the long ones. No, that would look weird. The scar is fine. I like the extra on the ears. I like the facial hair. And the extra, yeah, that is nice. Tattoos. I'll keep them, but I think I'm going to change their color. Bring in a little more. Where is that one I had earlier? That's a little too dark. You know what? It's not quite as vibrant, but I think it'll work. Give it a little more faded appearance. Face paint. Yeah, it's a lion. It would just get all messed up in the fur. Though that I kind of like. I think I'll actually keep that. Throw in a color. Darken it up a little bit. Voice. Let's find something nice and gruff. It is a lion. Maybe. Kind of liking that one. Would that be a let the Wookiee win? That sounded a little almost cowardly lion. Go figure. Alright, I think I'll go with that. I'll go ahead and save that appearance. Just to make sure that it doesn't lose it on me for some strange reason. I don't think I've ever had that happen before, but it comes in handy for some other things as well. Something people were calling these when it first got announced. My data saved. Let's see. It is the second one I'm recording. 9. We'll go with 5th Astral Moon. Yeah, the astral and umbrals that do, or it does correspond to months. And then the different deities that you can have as a patron. That is a deity of war, which is a little tempting, but that is a little tempting as well, except I hate trying to pronounce that name. Yeah, why not? Rhalgr. The deity of destruction. Breaker of worlds. That seems fitting for this kind of design of a character. Alright, so your gladiator, that's going to be your tank class. Sword and board, for those of you familiar with the terminology. It's a good class, really good beginner tank. You have your pugilist, that becomes a monk. Actually, let me throw on job clothes so you can see how those would look. There's for your gladiator slash paladin when they're at high level. Pugilist is, as I said, your monk. Marauder becomes warrior later on. It's still a tank class, but you've got a higher DPS or damage per second because you're running around with a big old axe. This one has, if I remember correctly, a much higher health pool, but it has less defense. Your lancer becomes your dragoon. Thankfully, they're not the butt of all jokes like they used to be. They got a lot better. It used to be that you could get animation locked into dying. It was actually pretty funny. I messed around with it one for a while. Then you have Archer, which becomes your Bard. It's a ranged DPS, also a support class. Then you also have, starting wise, Disciples of Magic. So your Conjurer is your White Mage, eventually, all your heals. Your Thaumaturge, it's an annoying word to pronounce, but it is what it is. That is your Black Mage, so all your elemental damage dealing. This one specifically deals with thunder, fire, and ice. Your Conjurer for some healing, or for some damage. They have all your healing, but for your damage it deals with earth, wind, and water. Then you have Arcanist. This is a bit of a weird one. It can actually become either a summoner, running around with pets, or a scholar, which still runs around with pets, but the pets are different. Your scholar acts as a secondary healer, though anyone who knows how to play him really well can basically be a primary healer because their pets will handle all the healing and they can keep DPSing, whereas your summoner is pretty much a DPS with a lot of damage over time abilities and can throw some heals in a pinch. That being said, to keep Q times lower, and just because I enjoy the class so I haven't played it in a while, I'm going to go a Marauder. That, and being a very large lion individual, running around with heavy armor and an axe, seems fitting. It kind of pulls the whole appearance together. So we're about to enter into a starting cutscene. I will be starting in the town of Limsa Lominsa. Your classes actually determine what town you start in. Marauder, Arcanist, both start in Limsa Lominsa. It's kind of a waterlocked area. It's really nice though. Your Thaumaturge, your Gladiator, your Pugilist all begin in Ul'dah. It's a merchant town, really nice, kind of middle of the desert, but it's a very busy area, really nice to be in. That's where I started way back when this first came out, before they had to take the game down and completely redo it, which made it so much better. It's a really nice place, I have fond memories of it, but I really just want to play a Marauder. The final place you can have is the Lancer, Archer, and Conjurer all start in Gridania. It's kind of an elf-esque village. Everything's lots of trees and plant life. Really green. If you're a nature lover, it's a great place to hang out. That being said, let's begin. Sorry if it has taken a little bit to get into the meat of the game. Character creation can take a lot of time, and I had not had a chance to look into the new character options since I just got this game down, or this patch downloaded. So let's begin. Let me see if I can get into the other world I want here. I do have a character on this world, as long as it's not full. I jumped the gun in a little bit. Have to give it a name first. This is a game that asks for first and last, so let's see what happens. And it will not let me... It's been so long I forgot it won't let you underscore either. Sorry, couldn't type for a moment. Alright. So, now we can begin. I highly doubt this has been taken. If it was, I'll be quite surprised. And new characters cannot be made on this world at the time. Okay, so let us go to a different world. originally tried to put me on Cactuar, so I will go for there. And I may just transfer worlds later to hang out with family, but hey, since I don't have any family on Cactuar that I'm aware of, it gives it a little more authentic of an experience. So, let's give this a shot now. I was worried that might happen, but it just means I'm going to have a little more of an authentic experience as if I were a new player, other than just having experience. But, as I said, they have changed a ton in this game since I last played. I happened to log back in just to, while I was making sure that my capture card and everything else was going to work just fine, because I was still getting used to that and I hadn't hooked it up to a computer yet. Just to give some test videos, went in as my main character, and several of my skills I had on my hotbar no longer were a thing. So, I'm basically having to reload the game all over again, so this will be an interesting experience. Back to cutscenes. Alright, that must have been the end of the voice-acted cutscene. It is one thing that you will notice with this game, as excellent as it is, some of the cutscenes are fully voice-acted, some are not. If you like, I probably will for this video, and for a little while until I start seeing feedback. If you like, I will read the text bubbles that pop up when it's not a voiced cutscene. Anything that's voiced, I'm going to just let it play. I know personally, I'm not a fan of people talking over voiced cutscenes because I'm usually trying to listen and enjoy it. If you guys don't want me reading these, just let me know. If you don't care if I talk over voiced cutscenes, just let me know in the comments. I'm planning to read any comment that pops up. I'm hoping to check them on about a daily basis. Currently, this is not my primary job, though I do hope for it to become my primary job down the road. Alright, so let's get back to this cutscene. Got a guy going, "Oi, y'all right, lad?" We awake to find ourselves on a ship. Grizzled passenger saying, "You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Rolling of the ship got your stomach churning, has it?" I hope not. That does not sound enjoyable. For all of you who do deal with seasickness, I hope there are good ways to deal with it. Don't seem like seasickness now that I look at you. It'll be the Aether then, I reckon. Some are more sensitive to the stuff than others. See, and we ain't too far from Vylbrand now, which is chock full of Aetherites. No need to fret though, you'll soon get used to it. Not 100% sure this guy has his sea legs though. Ugh. Might as well have been blooming seasickness, ship sleeping around like a demented chocobo today. I reckon I might head out on the deck, get myself a breath of fresh air. Sorry if I can't talk, it's been a long day, and I was talking a lot earlier running a D&D session. Alright, he's back saying Limsa Lominsa's still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake and all, how about you keep me company till we get there? I'm not so sure, dude, but he's saying them youngins don't much care for some conversation, you see? Anyway, this guy's name is Brennan, and he's a trader. You know, goes selling his wares, all that stuff. Smell that salty sea breeze. You must have opened a bag of Cape Cod potato chips. Now then, lad, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you were one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying. I mean, ain't no secret that adventurers are risking business, these days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? We get a few options. I usually go for like to win glory or to gain power sort of thing. I mean, amassing a fortune's always nice. And considering that one seems to sit a little better. I'm not sure it really makes a difference either way, but that one always seems to sit a little better with the folks over in Ul'dah. So for this one, given what I remember about the game, I think we're going to go with to win glory. Glory, eh? Well, if you're willing to take on them tasks as other folk ain't, an adventurer such as yourself can win fame that coin can't buy. When you arrive in town, you'll want to report to the Adventurers Guild. You can't find out everything you need to know about the adventuring business in there. Sorry, it's you can find out. Like I said, it's been a long day, but I knew I needed to get a video out. It's just been a little crazy. Just remember, though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. I think some of them companies out there need to start thinking about that when they're dealing with their workers. All that mandatory overtime sure does get old. And it seems we're being attacked. Ugh. Yay, cannonballs. Ship's off the starboard bow, pirate colors. Pirates? Yeah. You will notice, like, since I'm still not that familiar with the YouTube terms and such, I am going to try to keep this very family friendly, so I'm not going to say that one. It's probably fine. YouTube probably wouldn't be a big deal with it, but I'd rather be safe. Have you no sense? Get below. My character seems to run a little funny. What is the world coming to? Pirates firing on a ship flying Lominsan colors? Those jerks either have a boatload of, yeah, or bugger all for brains. Alright, the sailor's saying that we can rest easy, friends. They've made it out of cannon range, and no buccaneer or his bark will catch the flighty temptress once the wind's in her sails. You gotta love ship names. That was too bleeding close. Glad one of us kept his head on his shoulders. I reckon I'd have lost mine otherwise. If them pirates gave up the chase, we must be close to port. Let's head up on deck and have us a look, shall we? This is the part I think it is. It is a beautiful view that we see. Then again, Square Enix is always done so well with their landscape designs. By the by, is this your first trip to Limsa Lominsa? I'm gonna say yes, just because it's been so long. It is. Well, then let this journey's itinerant tell you the ins and outs of your destination. Ahem. Limsa Lominsa prides itself on being Eorzea's foremost naval power. It is. It weren't too long ago that the place was ruled by pirates, but thanks to the current admiral's civilian influence, the city-state could almost pass for a respectable nation. You'd never guess she was once a rum-swilling buccaneer herself. Of course, most folk ain't so quick to change, and with a town full of liberty-loving ruffians, you can imagine how many naysayers and troublemakers she's got to deal with, like them pirates who took a fancy to us just now. And if that weren't bad enough, I've heard the Sahagin are raiding the coast just as bold as you please. Them are the sea-dwelling beastmen that locals call fishbacks, in case you didn't know. Ah, at long last, land ho! Behold Limsa Lominsa, a nation blessed by the ocean's bounty and beloved of Limlane, the deity of navigation. Like I said, that's one of those that, well, even though I'm starting, it would make sense with where I started at. Don't like trying to pronounce that name. It's a pain. Then again, if anyone knows how to officially pronounce it, feel free to leave it in the comments with the pronunciation, phonetics, all that fun stuff. I would happily be able to say it properly if it comes up again. I look fierce. And here's where we part ways, son. I'm off to the markets to deliver my wares, then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this by way of thanks for saving me. Yeah, earlier. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square. Yeah, it's probably a good one that the first video is always a bit longer. little bit of clipping on the feet with the texture of the road there, but oh well. Hey, you there! Yeah, if I remember correctly, Yellow Jackets are basically their town guards. Hi, I mean you. This is my district, and I make it my business to know all the scum that washes up in it. I'm not sure how I feel about this guy calling me scum right off the bat when he first met me, but hey, could be worse. Ah, an adventurer fresh off the boat, is it? Well then. Allow one of Limsa Lominsa's finest to set you on the right path. Hop to it, lad. I haven't got all day. Says, welcome to Limsa Lominsa, a bustling city-state filled with scoundrels and brigands, the rough-cut diamond of the Rotano Sea. It's part of what makes this place fun. Please select the control scheme you wish to use. I'm going to go mouse and keyboard. It's just what I've always played on. I will have to do some changes later on. But that's more to like camera setup. There's some stuff about like classic versus current. I prefer classic a little more for certain dungeons. You need to be able to move without the camera messing with you. At least I find it easier that way, but yeah. So gives you just some instructions on basic controls. It does sometimes give you a thing about the play guide on the lodestone. It is really nice. Most of this stuff's going to come back to me pretty quickly, though. Now to proceed, I get to talk to this guy, though there's a thing about initiating quests. I mean, it's very good about getting anyone who's new to it just being able to go without having any problems. See, to be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Limsa Lominsa, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. That'll give some experience and some coin. There's a little help bubble about initiating quests. Riflo says, now then, I'm sure you're itching to explore, but adventurers are required to register their presence in the city, and without a bit of local knowledge, you'll like to get your throat slit in some piss-stinking alley. Feels so welcoming, doesn't it? So, before you do anything else, get yourself over to the Drowning Winch and enroll with the Adventurers Guild. You will find that Limsa does have a lot of piratey-esque names for things. It's kind of charming. If you want stuff that sounds a little more auspicious or more serene, the other towns are better for that. But, it is what it is. It's not far, just head straight down the street and speak with Grefar. He'll show you how to work that big moving platform we call the Crow's Lift, and that'll take you up to the pub. Once you're there, look for a fellow named Bateron. He's the proprietor of the winch. He might curse like an ale-sodden sailor, but the man's got a soft spot for wide-eyed newcomers like yourself. He'll set you straight. Got all that? Good. Now run along, and may the navigator guide you on your journey. Says I've begun a quest. There's a duty list to help you complete your task, which is nice. That's what this is over here. Let's see, there is Grefar. So if we talk to him, he will send us up the elevator thing. It says, welcome to Limsa Lominsa. If you have a mind to visit the Drowning Winch, the Crow's Lift will take you there. So we'll take the lift. If later on the road I do start going silent while gaming, I'm either concentrating or, again, as I said earlier, I don't normally talk a lot. I may just be lapsing a little bit. Now I can collect rewards. A lot of this is by right-clicking. The controller setup should be fairly nice as well. I'm just not used to it. Though I do know there are several people that prefer controller. I've just always played MMOs with mouse and keyboard, so it's what I'm used to. Bateron says, greetings to you, lad. What'll it be? Ah, but you ain't here for the drink, are ye? You've come with a mind to try your hand at adventuring, I reckon. Well, you'll find no shortage of work here in Limsa. My name's Bateron, and this most hospitable of hostilleries is the Drowning Winch. 'Tis also the home of the Adventurers Guild here in Limsa. That's why we've got a desk specially for Andalin Guild business, and why I seem to spend more time saving the necks of whelps like yourself than wetting the throats of me regulars. Venturers have a knack for finding trouble, see? Not that you need it in these parts on account of there being trouble wherever you look. If you manage to steer clear of the fishbacks and the kobolds outside the city, the pirates on the inside will get you instead. It's good for keeping a person sharp. And if they don't manage, there's always the Garlean Empire to finish the job. Oh, no one knows what they're planning, of course. But if they're planning anything, you can be sure it's to kill the lot of us. Aye, this town seems peaceful at a glance, but look again and you'll see a people living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. And who can blame them after everything that's happened? Eorzea took a mighty blow during the calamity, but our ohms weren't the only things that got wiped off the face of existence. But the thrice, yeah, that jerk of a dragon, it took our bleeding memories too, and no one's been able to explain it in a way as makes any or an ounce of sense to us. None of the folks that saw it and lived to tell the tale seem to agree on how the tale actually goes. 'Tis all foggy, like recollections from an ardent night on the ale. You can imagine why people might fear for the future if they can't rightly recall the past. But there is one thing we all remember, and that a group of adventurers what laid down their lives to drag Eorzea back from the brink when she was bound for the abyss. Well, I say we remember. Truth is, though, we ain't forgetting what they did for us. This calamity spawned memory loss robbed us of their names. It won't even let us picture their faces. 'Tis like staring at a gull flying in front of the sun. All you see in your mind's eye is a shadow set against a blinding glare, and that's how every bugger describes it, by the way, give or take the odd gull. It's this what's got people calling these arrows the warriors of light. If Limsa ever going to put this time of darkness behind it, it's going to need venturers to help banish this fear. It's going to need new heroes like the ones we lost. Maybe one day you'll be one of them, and that's why why any aid we can give to a venturer is effort well spent. What say ye, lad? You willing to lend us your strength? Me thanks to ye, and the navigator and all. I knew she'd steered ye my way for a reason. I forgot about the mannerisms of this guy. It's been so long. But listen to me yattering on like a sun-touched fishwife. 'Tis I had time we got your mark in my book. Put your scrawl right here. Give me one moment, guys. I gotta grab a drink. Yeah, Black Cat Hobbies, is it? And a fine name it is. Congratulations, you now an upstanding member of the Venturers Guild. You there, adventurer? You sailed in on that last ferry, did you not? Captain reported being attacked by a pirate vessel, and several witnesses have testified independently that a passenger matching description went out on deck mere moments before the incident took place. Sending your friend signals, were you? So suspicious. Beteron's like, now hold on just a moment there, officer. You got the wrong bloke. This fine, upstanding young gent is me dear departed grandma's sister, niece's cousin, closest champion or companion. The lad wouldn't be caught dead fraternizing with such unsavory elements. Can we add a few more connections in there? You know, just make it just really try to sell it to these guys. Is that right? You are surely aware of the recent kidnappings, respectfully. Then we cannot be too trusting of outsiders at a time when the loyalty of even our closest friends is in doubt. Down the road, if you all think that I should, I might start trying to do voices for these, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to keep them straight, so we'll see what happens. Then again, if you don't want me to do voices, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's really, you know, what you guys would prefer. Feel free to let me know in the comments on that one. Aye, you make a good point there, officer. A very good point. Very wise. You needn't worry, though. I keep one eye open at all times, and two more often than not. Now, sir, what say ye to a tankard of me finest ale before ye return to your duties, eh? Not in a watered-down cup of piss like last time, I should hope. I ain't got the faintest idea of what you're on about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grog this side of the Strait of Merlthor, but that don't mean it won't get you good and pickled. And look, there's a chair over there just crying out to be sat on, so kick off them heavy boots, eh? You'll have to excuse these eager, bloody yellow jackets. There's been a Spado kidnapping, see, and they ain't got a clue who's behind them. Naturally, they've taken to clapping irons on anyone who looks vaguely suspicious, which means venturers, visitors, and pretty much every bugger else in this town. Don't take it personal, though. Us Lominsons can be an headstrong bunch of... Yeah, 'tis true, but given time, we'll grow on ye. Now, where was I? You're welcome to Limsa Lominsa, where the sea's as green as the faces owe me patrons after a few too many black belly whiskeys. He knows how to treat 'em, don't he? I'll take a moment to gather your wits, and we'll get started with learning ye the ways of the city. And experience and gold, yay! And that is the introductory game tutorial. Now we can actually get started. Alright, we get a little thing about main scenario quests. That icon over his head is special to main scenario. I forgot how long this whole thing starts to get going. It does seem a little long, but it gives you a nice little introduction to the story, and it is very helpful for anyone new. Once you've played on a few characters, if you're not doing things like filming, most people do just skip through it a lot. Alright, so he's giving us a quest close to home. It says that Baderon, proprietor of the Drowning Winch, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. It says, right then, let's start ye off nice and easy with 3 tasks that'll help you get used to life here in Limsa. Firstly, if you head down a floor, then point your nose to the west, you'll get an eyeful of the great glowing crystal in the middle of the courtyard. That's an aetheryte, a device what can move ye from one place to another in the blink of an eye. Ain't no swifter way to travel, providing there's an aetheryte where you want to go, of course. Have a chat with the yellow jacket on guard down there, and you'll be treated to a lecture on the workings of the device. Before you do that, though, remember to touch the thing. Strange as it sounds, it won't work till you have. Second on the list is the marketplace. You'll find weapons and armor and all your venturing bits and pieces for sale in the district what lies beyond the aetheryte. Don't go throwing your gil around just yet, though, or you'll get fleeced quicker and you can say, why is me coin purse so light? Have a word with Swazblade instead. He's the head of the Merchants League, by the way. Give him this old octa and he'll treat you well. For the last, don't be helpful hints. I suggest you meet some fellow axe wielders at the Marauders Guild. I guarantee you'll learn a few nicks or tricks for swinging that head splitter of yours if you join the crew. Blathoda at the front desk is the one to get you started. Got all that, lads? Seeing to them 3 tasks will take you a little jaunt around the city, help you work out where everything is now. I'd best be getting on. Run along, eh? Bugger it. There I go sending you off without telling you something crucial. That bloody calamity made a right mess of me memory, I swear. Well, that, or the ale. In the road, while you're out, if you happen to pass any poor sods that look like they might need your help, consider giving their tale of woe a listen, eh? Sounds like a chore, I admit, but you never know what interesting opportunities could be lurking out there, just waiting for you to stumble on them. For example, Ninia over yonder's been casting glances at you since you waltzed in. Why not lend an ear and see what she has to say, aye? Like you're to find yourself? Running odd errands in the beginning, but once you build a reputation as a man folk can trust, the jobs will get harder and the rewards more generous. If you've the time, I'd also seek the advice of the smith here in the winch. The lads as bear the title have some fine advice for them what you're just starting out in the profession, and that, my lad, is how ye go about becoming a legend among venturers. I think they may have added new stuff. I don't remember this. Nothing wrong with new stuff. Makes this experience even more interesting. Talking about the main menu a moment. So that's going to be all this stuff right down in here. Navigation, talking about the map, and it's key to bring it up. For those just starting out on the path of the adventurer, for the present I suggest you learn your way around the city, an endeavor which Baderon shall no doubt wish to aid you. Alright, now there is Ninia. Little Lalafell. Any veteran adventurer has some information that might be of interest to you. Well, would you look at this? A shiny new adventurer. Listen close, lad. I have some information that might just help put you on the map here in Limsa. I was passing through Bulwark Hall below not long ago and saw a bunch of herbs just scattered about on the ground. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but I think they might have been the black market wares known as dream flowers. Limsa is a busy port, and not all the merchants that blow in across the strait are above board, if you know what I mean. How the plants end up in the mizzenmast? Who knows? Might have been a deal gone bad. The important thing is that you make a name for yourself by handing them in. Speak to Scandrail, and she'll get you down to the first floor. Then all you have to do is pick up the herbs and take them to... yeah! Aldskiff at the Octant. Being a worldly captain, he knows a thing or two about such shady goods. And let's see how far I can get before I feel I need to cut this video, because I don't want to make it too long for you guys. She wants to know if we wish to visit the Bulwark Hall below. So let's use the crow's lift. Like, right now I'm currently thinking, you know, stuff that's very fast-paced and action-y, probably run like a mission or two, you know, not too long, but stuff that's a more RPG-esque, keep the videos a bit longer, because it takes longer to get through things. A lot of it is just, this is an MMO. It plays a lot more like a single-player game, which is excellent, especially for those who aren't as familiar with MMOs. But at the same time, to get started when you're doing things of this nature, it means you may not get to some of the as exciting stuff right off the bat. Alright, so when you get to these, at least if you're on a mouse and keyboard, if you just right-click them, it collects them. And there's just a bunch to do. I'm going to try to get a little bit of combat in today. We'll see what happens. It's been long enough, I honestly don't remember how much there is to get going. And, I mean, I could just grab a bunch of random quests to do as well. Alright, that's all 6 of the herbs. Here's Aldskiff, or whatever his name is. It says, yes, that he is who I've been trying to pronounce. Have some herbs you wish me to examine. So it'll pull up that menu for key items. We hand them over. It'll of course give us a tutorial about how to do that, but yeah. So yes, as you suspected, these are the highly illegal blooms known as dream flowers. They are the prime ingredient in the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragments is said to lull the sniffer's mind into the sleep of death. I could use that some nights after work. Permit me, I could not resist the jest. These herbs are not more than Althic lavender, a common enough export from Limsa. In fact, these probably spilled from the crates that were loaded onto my very own ship. I think someone has been having a bit of fun with you, son, but not to worry, you've learned a few things and made a new acquaintance. Well met. And he gives us earth shards, which we need for crafting down the road, and potions. Always good. Talks about using items. We can either go into the menu then use them, or we can put those on a hotbar later on to use. Let's see. Captain of the trading ship Orion has some information that might benefit you standing as an adventurer. By the way, thanks for delivering my scattered lavender. I have a nugget of information that may prove useful to you. You see, I was recently approached by an unkempt seafarer, which is not, I admit, particularly unusual for a man in my profession. Sorry if I keep coughing, I am getting rather dry-mouthed, but I don't have good access to a drink. The one I had up here is almost empty. And I'm fairly sure that my wife has passed out for the night. So, I don't have a really good way to run down and grab a new drink. So, I'm going to manage until I finish this video, and we'll see what happens from there. See, what was unusual is that he offered a generous sum of gil to be introduced to any adventurers I might know. In my experience, sailors are not known to carry such wealth of coin about their person, especially with the alehouses of Limsa so close at hand. Kidnappings have not been uncommon these past moons. I suggest you take this information and speak with Glazrael, the guard who stands at the entrance to East Hawker's Alley. It never hurts to show a spirit of cooperation to the authorities, lad. Alright. Well, here's the Aetheryte. We need to attune to this. It's going to come in handy later. This will allow us to basically hit the home key, or well, not like the home key as in the keyboard home key, but there's a button on our hotbar for home. It'll bring us right back to the city from wherever we're at. It says, another novice adventurer. Bedoran has sent more than a few of your kind this way of late. There's that new yellow jacket. I am Suindemal, one of the yellow jackets tasked with keeping peace in the city. It is also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Aetherites are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of Aether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune himself to each one. It does really come in handy. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. He is accurate on that. There is, however, no need to unseemly haste. The Aetherites found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I will be here to answer your questions. I'd rather not. I have been attuned to the Aetherite and am now able to use Return. Help window popped up about that. If you guys are playing this game or getting started, any of these help windows that pop up in the left-hand corner are accessible from the menu, if I remember correctly. Okay, yeah, I believe it's Play Guide under the System menu. We'll talk to this guy a little bit. Goblin Merchant Sweetnix appears to be in some distress. Says that Sweetnix is beauteous, gobby, and crafty, smart trade maker. I may just summarize for this guy because, yeah, these things talk really weird. He makes a deal with the Uplanders. He needs to deliver a letter to the gate, but he's nervous. He's wanting us to take the letter to the tax lady. And that's pretty much the gist of it. But to read what he says exactly, when I'm starting to get a little cotton-mouthed, yeah, that doesn't go the best. Let's see, Glazarel says that it's disturbing news. Your initiative is appreciated, adventurer. I'll have the captain place the Yellow Jackets on high alert. And while I have your ear, I need you to visit Friedweeb and tell her the same thing you told me. You'll find her a bit further down East Hawker's Alley. She says that Friedweeb has frequent dealings with adventurers, so any warning you give her should soon spread throughout the city. Here's Swalsblade. Fine morning to you, sir. Welcome to the most complete marketplace in the grand realm of Eorzea, where every shelf groans under the weight of wonders born from all four corners of the world. Pray browse the stalls until your eyeballs ache from ogling the overabundance of unbelievable bargains. Now, as much as I would love to elaborate upon the unrivaled quality of our merchandise, I must tend to some cargo but recently arrived at the docks. You bear a gift from Bedoran. Whatever could it... Ah, my octant! By the navigator! I must have left it behind in the winch, along with a week's pay and several bells worth of intoxicated memories. Sounds like this guy knows how to party. Alright, so we hand him the octant. I am most grateful to have it back. This tool is a keepsake from my days as a ship captain, you see. Needless to say, your good deed must be repaid, and what better recompense than the wisdom of a master merchant? It is simple and sturdy adventuring equipment you seek. You need to look no further than the east and west arms of Hawker's Alley. Lest you doubt, each skill you invest in arms and armor will be money well spent. Adventuring is, after all, a dangerous profession by its very nature. It goes without saying, the Hawker's Alley boasts stalls specializing in the tools of every martial discipline imaginable. And with but a few steps are bazaars and apothecaries that will most amply supply all your potion and perishable needs. Our keen-eyed agents procure a frankly befuddling range of wares during the sojourns to distant shores, so it pays to become familiar with the types and price of the goods offered by each stall. Such knowledge will serve you well if your purse is light or your time is short. But verbal instruction of this kind will only profit you so much. Experience has ever been the surest teacher, if not the kindest. I invite you to explore the markets for yourself. Alright. I will come back to that because, yeah. Greetings, sir. Might I interest you in the services of a retainer? What's this? Some suspicious seafarers on the prowl for gullible adventurers, a possible suspect in the recent kidnappings, you think? Well, I'll be sure to pass on the warning to my customers. What with all the merchants and travelers milling through Hawker's Alley, these kinds of unsavory activities can often go unnoticed. In any case, I promise to keep a sharp lookout for anyone being accosted by strange-looking sailors. More stuff. We're halfway to level 2, and we haven't even managed combat yet. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay. We're gonna run. Mostly because I don't think y'all want to just watch me, just keep slowly plodding along. And I went the wrong way. Sorry about that. Here's Pataja, tax lady. Wants to know where that goblin is with the import records. We're in that without the records, they're going to have to expel him from the city. She's happy to see that the records were submitted in time, but she thinks that the goblin would have finally gotten over his fear of the offices. And asks us to, convey the words to him and hope it helps. I'll grab that for later. Talking about how they inspect all the goods imported into Limsa. They collect the duty as the law requires. Some, however, seek to evade the obligation, and they have to chase them down. So she's wanting us to deliver a couple of ledgers to Sundamel and a lady named Letitia. We may go ahead and deal with the one with Letitia because that is actually... She's at the Bismarck, and if I remember correctly, that is actually right near the Marauders Guild where we have to go anyway. That is the wrong direction. That's down. Sorry. To make things fast, let's attune to this real fast so we can teleport here later if necessary. Being able to teleport around town does save things, or a decent amount of time. Only downside is to actually be able to properly do that, I believe. Oh, I was going to say you needed all of them attuned to, and I just remembered I believe it's actually to be able to teleport out of the city you need them all attuned to, not the other. Summoning bells for retainers, more markets, menders. Pretty much this area, if you're starting here, is where you're going to want all of your stuff. When I get to go and explore the other cities, I may make that episode a little longer as well. Just because we'll be exploring two brand new towns, well, not brand new, but two towns we haven't been in before. But that is not before, I think, like level 10. So we still got a little bit. Let me check the map real fast. If I am... Where'd I go? I don't know where I went. Oh, there I am. Okay, I'm less worried about Sweetnix right now. But that may be... You know what, I'm going to give it a shot anyway. I think this goes to where I need it to. But again, it has been a while. It is the one downside. As much as I'm looking or enjoy playing this class, this as an opening area can be a little complicated. Gridania is probably the easiest one to navigate. And no, that all goes down, so I did go the wrong way. Sorry, guys. And I am using guys as a general term. I know there will probably be plenty of ladies that watch this as well, because there are plenty of ladies that play in-game. I apologize in advance if I offend anyone with using the term guys. I'm using it as a catch-all, not as anything derogatory. I was going to say, in this day and age, one cannot be too careful. Let's see. This might be where actually, I should be able to get there if I go up. Airship landing, maybe? That might actually be one too high, and if so, I apologize. For the time being, if anything pops up in this little chat thing on the side, just ignore it. Most of it's probably RMT stuff. Square always goes and bans the RMT people, and then they just create new accounts and keep going. It is what it is. It's not ideal, but most of us just ignore them. I mean, if anything, it's probably more annoying about it taking up extra names and stuff. But at the same time, completely blocking them is not really the easiest thing to do either, so... The joys of online games. Alright, I am at least headed in the right general direction. Oh, it looks like I had to go do Sundamall first. So I'll just worry about that later. I mean, it's literally just... Here's some stuff, you'll get a few extra items in the beginning, but nothing too big of a deal. And a little bit of XP. But I think I'll want to probably see at least a little bit of combat in this first video, so attune to this shard, because this is the area where I'm going to need to come back every 5 levels for a while to get new gear and new abilities. It's a very useful place to have. It's the Marauders Guild. That is exclusive for this class. Other classes will have a different area they have to go to. Just curious about the Marauders Guild, are ye? Any axe worth swinging needs 2 hands and a haft and has a blade. What can make short work? Oh, a galley's mast. It's a kind of weapon our members train to use with deceptive swiftness and all too predictable force. Wants to know if we're interested in hearing more. It says it all started with ships. It's like, what do they got to do with axes? Well, you know what? Building ships. Since the navigator herself knows when a ship will run afoul of a storm or worse, it makes no sense for the cruise carpenter to carry an axe on board. And basically they're talking about, like, we use axes because it's good for building and repairing ships. Most of these guys were pirates at one point, so... Just this version of pirates is a little weirder than what we're used to, but they work. And then they're like, well... Yeah, we used to be pirates, but once the Accords were passed, well, pirates were kind of outlawed, so we made a guild. Says that they use their martial prowess for the good of society. says to think it over, but at the same time, it's a class we started. There's nothing really to think over. Oh, and they're giving us food right off the bat. That's really nice. So in the case of this game, food gives you some bonuses to different attributes like skill, speed, stuff like that for 30 minutes, but it also gives you a 3% XP buff, which is really nice. Alright, so he says we need to go speak to the Axemaster himself, who I believe is going to give us a quest. I do like his axe. It says his name is Wernzoen. He's the Axemaster. It's not the most imaginative of titles, but again, pirates. It's the art of the Marauder is used to rend, to cleave, and to destroy. It is not our way to simply outfight our adversaries. We seek to overwhelm them. Talking about being powerful and an enduring presence on the battlefield. And then he wishes us to reaffirm that we are prepared to be a marauder. Wants to know our name. Alright. And he wants us to go slay some enemies. Just to give us a little taste. So I believe that is what we shall go do. Let's see. Well, that's weird. I had my Xbox and TV on from while I was waiting on stuff to download. I was just watching the videos, and I believe they have both gone to sleep now. Oh well. Recording this has been more important and more fun anyway. Now, if only I could jump, like, over the railing and go for a swim. Then again, this is a lion, so he might not enjoy that too much. Oh yeah, I do have to see him again, I guess. Alright, so that little leaf that's near my name, if any of you have been wondering, is a thing for returning / new players. It basically just marks us as, hey, we're returning or new. He wants to know if we enjoyed our jaunt around the city. Like, if you mean to be basing yourself here, it's not the last time you're going to be seeing those places. It says we're now cool to start exploring the rest of the town. Says that if we stick with him, we'll go far. Sure we will. Go far? Sure. Sticking with him? Hard to say. His next one is for once we've hit level 4, so we got a little bit of stuff to do first. Not a big deal, though. We've got things we can do. We'll go down to Bulwark Hall. We've got things we can do to level up, quests to accept, just a lot of stuff to just... some of it's just busy work this early. Thankfully, once we get through the initial busy work, things pick up rather quickly. But again, that is the life of MMOs. May not be the most exciting early content, but it's still stuff that needs to go on, and if you are a new player, I don't really want to just leave you abandoned. Alright, so it's just delivering that ledger to him. When we go back up to the when we go back up to the Marauders Guild, either at the end of this video or the next video, we'll hit up the Bismarck. That's that area right before the Marauders Guild, if I'm remembering correctly. It's a restaurant. It's also where, once you get to the point of being able to learn or pick up other classes, you can learn to cook there. So, making all those foods and stuff to give you extra XP, and some other useful things, would be that area. It's actually a nice skill to pick up. Food is almost always useful. The game does give you some, but not a lot. At least not initially. Alright, and then it's just the stuff for battle. Alright. Running a little shorter on time than I wanted, just because of how much stuff there is to do at the beginning, so I think I'm going to finish up this combat. Or, well, not this combat, but finish up this quest. Hit a mouse with an axe. This is going to be fun. One down. And I leveled up. Come here, rat. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a right-click on your target and then start hitting your, what keys are relegated to your different abilities. So that's the rats. We also have ladybugs and lost lambs. Thankfully, I don't have anything that's an area of effect at the moment, or I probably would have triggered a few other enemies in here. Anyone up for lamb chops? Would these be slimy yet satisfying? I forgot, there is a chain bonus for defeating enemies. Basically, you beat one, and then if you beat another one of that same type of enemy within a certain amount of time, you get bonus XP, and you can keep chaining that, but the time you have gets shorter and shorter. It is nice, especially in the early levels, when you're chaining weak enemies. Later on, it's not as easy, even though you're more powerful. Alright, that's the end of that. Let's go back into the Marauders Guild, turn this in along with the running to Letitia to turn in the last part. That'll definitely get us to level 3, should give us another ability, that'll be nice. Hopefully that means the next part in our combo. Alright, so there's Greffar. Go back to the pub. This should work. Downside is it has been long enough that I may still get a little lost in this town. But as I get more familiar with it again, it'll get back to knowing my way around. Nice thing is, if I remember correctly, both blacksmithing and armor smithing is in this town. And with this class, those are some very useful things to pick up. Unfortunately, mining, which is really good for those, is in a different town, so that part's not ideal. Alright. Hop down here to head over to the Bismarck. Once I open up that I'm able to take up other classes, I will definitely pick up Gladiator. I need that for becoming a warrior later. But I need to come up with a secondary class. I guess it'd be a secondary class, just to have an extra role option. How's everybody feel about me picking up Rogue Becomes Ninja? It's another one I can pick up in here, running around with knives and stuff, just having a good time. If that sounds like something you'd want to see as a backup option when I'm not running the Marauder, let me know, because I'm going to want a DPS and maybe a healing class down the road, just to have some options for if for some reason tanks are not in demand for once, which is very rare, but just something. So if there's anything you guys want to see, let me know. Alright, hand that in to finish that up. We've hit level 3 now. Alright. Now, the next video should have some decent length to it, but it's not going to be this long. Unless you guys really like seeing videos that are this length. I've got a rough idea of about how I'd like to have it structured, but if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I mean, I'm just starting out the series, I'm still new to content creating. Any advice, critiques, comments you have, feel free to post them. If it's something that'll make the channel better, I will definitely take it under advisement. We speak to him. He gives us a hunting log. That's an easy way to get some extra XP. And he also gives us food. That was nice of him. His next quest is not available until level 5, though. And the next story quest is available at level 4. We may go do some hunting log stuff in the next video. It's just easy XP. Should get it so we can actually go start doing the main quest line. Alright, so we're in a town. That's going to mean that we get some rested XP for when we come back, which helps us level up faster as well. That being said, I have been recording for a while. I think I'm going to call it for this video. If you like what you've been seeing, I will be trying to post videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with others sprinkled in as I have time. Like I said earlier, this is not my primary job, though I would love it to be, and I hope for it to be down the road. Currently, I'm working in a factory. It does keep me rather busy. If I can get this to be my primary job, I will be posting videos daily. Currently, I'm going to try to at least get 3 out a week. If you want to see more, go ahead and like the video and be sure to subscribe. If you want to know when I post, go ahead and hit the notification button. YouTube is YouTube. They like to make things difficult for people who just want to be able to relax and watch some videos. What are you going to do about it? It's not like they're ever going to learn. YouTube makes too much money. Go figure. With that being said, thank you for your time. Again, my name is Black Cat Hobbies. I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you all will have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you. And you all are awesome. Have a nice day.